What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stochastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with a Monday jam-packed edition of MLB and NBA. Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. And yeah, I mean, the results kind of speak for themselves over the course of the last week, and actually the last couple of weeks overall, as we've gone into the MLB season. Thursday, Friday, pretty darn neutral there. We're doing all the unit tracking here in the NBA. We're going to finish that out. We'll jump over to the MLB, have everything covered there for you. But MLB, if you're in the premium Discord, we ended up finally got on the board with the Freddie Freeman home run, and then we went running. We went absolutely running, not literally, metaphorically, on Sunday to the bank as we cashed Suzuki home run, Kyle Tucker home run, over 9 total runs there of the Cubbies in Arizona. Roof open in Arizona. Big freaking deal for people paying attention. 10 runs in the 8th inning, doesn't hurt. But anywho, the main thing is that we got way on the board in the home run column, now up over 1.5 units on home runs right from the get-go, playing quarter unit across the board on everything. And then, well, ended up having the one lock hit over the course of the MLB season Saturday. That was the Dodgers, which, again, felt like a bailout for Saturday's card, but then Sunday's was a nuke in the MLB streets. Onyeka Okongwu just didn't decide to show up. My one NBA play there for today. Well, he did show up. He was fantastic. What am I talking about? It's just a blowout, ridiculous stuff. But that's neither here nor there, because we have results, and the results speak for themselves. Would you like to see how I did in the NBA streets on this video? In this video alone last week, boop, nuke, absolute nuclear bomb. Again, I love these recaps because they speak for themselves. We had the only loss Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was the quarter unit triple-double play on Josh Giddey. We'll talk about him here for a quick second today on the NBA portion. If you are looking for NBA, you can skip forward. We're going to talk MLB here first, of course, but the recap had to close it out here for the NBA, and boy, oh boy, 5.65 units on this video alone, all tracked, all thrown together for you here. I don't know what else to say. It was a fantastic NBA week. Hopefully you're able to tail all of these plays. And yeah, I didn't even get the best of it in terms of CLV across the board on everything. I mean, a couple of them looked really good. The Knicks, -7.5 we got. Boston, -4, kind of stayed steady. Dallas was great closing line value with Anthony Davis there on Monday returning. But otherwise, I mean, it was a really good week. I want to keep this going for you here, and obviously in the MLB streets, we're going to get all of these rocking here, but that is now 4 weeks of tracking here in on the NBA, or sorry, 3 weeks now. Running total 3126 on this video and this video alone. Premium Discord, you're getting more of the goodness. All of those home run plays over the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, it feels good. 3 of them now on the board. Hey, you go 3 for 12? 3 for 12? Yeah, 9 losses. But guess what? Plus 650 in the quarter unit world for Suzuka. Plus 550 Kyle Tucker. Great stuff all around. So let's get to that, shall we? MLB, it's time right now. Well, NBA was such a smash. We want to give you a 14-day trial now. It's normally a 7-day free trial of Portfolio EV down at the link below. Take advantage of it, my friends. Just throwing it in there for you. Oddchopper.com, or download the Oddchopper app in conjunction with Portfolio EV, the best market-based tool in betting. Lindy14, that's your code. Now to the leans. Yeah, look at me go. Minnesota taking on the White Sox here, and let's start pulling up all of my notes because I have so many notes on all of these games. Chris Paddock, we are now running into the 5th. Yes, the 5th starter for all of these teams, and it is going to get grimy on Monday with some of these guys. And then we have like Bowden Francis, who I think is an absolute stud based on his second half of last season and a great spring training. But Chris Paddock, 337 ex-WOBA. Martin Perez on the other side for the White Sox. We've seen him, former Minnesota Twin and Texas Ranger, Pittsburgh Pirate. He's been everywhere. He's been everywhere, man. 353 ex-WOBA, 8.6% barrel percentage. I don't know what to say other than, yeah, they're the preferred side, but I don't love the run line here on a Minnesota Twins lineup that just is sputtering against St. Louis there, and St. Louis had no problem putting up runs against them. As for the Mets, hit under 130. Under 130 at the dish, and the ERA was awesome across the board. 4 starters and relievers. Just a weird start to the Mets season. I feel like the Mets do this every single season, though, and that's why I'm not going to try to pick at them. Plus 150 here on Miami best available. I think we can get a little bit better than that if we actually want to dive into that pool. And, I should probably just keep throwing out every starter here on these spots so that I can keep it flying and at least cover it here for you. As I look at the Mets, it's Peterson and Quantrill. Peterson, southpaw, pretty decent stuff. Cal Quantrill, not my favorite. Back in his Cleveland days, we were targeting him ad nauseum. Texans and Cincinnati's up next, Great American Small Park. You're getting a very strange matchup here. Very strange with Kumar Rocker and then Brady Singer. And Rocker can definitely strike out some bats, but how long is he going to pitch? Not really sure. Brady Singer, 267 expected batting average was terrible. Terrible. I expect a bounce back season in some capacities, but there's a reason he's the 5th starter for Cincy. San Francisco taking on Houston. It is price and probability, friends. I've said that for years and years and years and years and years. And I just want a little bit better to be able to back San Francisco here in this spot. It's a little bit thin at plus 105. Like, we need a little bit better here with Hicks and Blanco going up against each other. And hey, once upon a time, Jordan Hicks had great stuff, but last year, getting extended, 339 ex-WOBA, not pitching in the home ballpark there of San Francisco, short porch out to left field. And Ronel Blanco, I have no idea. At the beginning of last year, he was mowing dudes down, had that early no-hitter from the get-go, and then had a great season from any expectations you could have possibly had of him. 226 expected batting average, 24.6% K rate, but 9.3% barrel percentage, 10% walk rate. Really tough for me to go out and trust him. Plus, this Houston lineup sputtering a little bit here at the start. We'll start to see some things coming together. Like, I don't know, Kyle Manzardo already putting it together. Only reason I haven't bet this is I do want to go through some of the bullpen usage here of San Diego. They just got done like an hour ago with their game. Haven't uploaded a lot of that into the sheet. Kind of one of the reasons we'll talk Braves and LA here as well. But just one of those spots where Manzardo going up against any righty, period. You're going to see him higher up in the order, especially with some of his hard hit data. It is so fantastic. And you get on one side of it, Luis Ortiz, not a huge fan of his, but Kyle Hart, no idea what to make of him with a crazy high walk rate. He throws slider, four-seamer, sinker, change, a little bit of curve. Like, he's just throwing a lot of garbage up against a wall. 32-year-old. Haven't seen a lot of him at the big league level. In fact, I haven't seen him since 2020. So for me, it's just kind of like a, we'll feel out the rest of the card tomorrow. Detroit, Seattle. This is another one that I find to be very fascinating. And actually, first 5 market was extremely fruitful for us. Oakland 4-0. I only bet 2 of those, unfortunately, but 2-0 on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Don't know why I didn't pull the trigger on it, but I really liked Oakland's lineup. I like their construction. I have a 30-1 ticket on them for the AL West, or for the AL West. It is, again, just kind of tailing some sharp people in tails. That's kind of the way to go about it. But Detroit first 5 in this spot. It just comes down to Job. I think he is going to be an absolute stud. Jackson Job, it's a great ballpark. You get on the other side, Emerson Hancock, who I'm not a big fan of, but I think I'll just wait and see Job start things off here before I start investing and having too thin of plays on the card. Again, we want to be easy in the early going of MLB. Only 1 lock so far, going back to last week into this, and that was the Dodgers -1.5, the old run line on Saturday. Might have been smart to go that direction in Japan, but we trimmed the units down hard on that. Oh, speaking of Dodgers, run line. Braves, winless, completely swept 0-4 after getting swept by the Padres there. Horrible offensive debut for a lot of guys. You can't expect Jerks and Profar's ceiling to be elevated. He played as good as he possibly could last season. And I said it on Saturday, I just don't think you're going to get plus money on the Dodger side very often. Well, it's now even money and worse pretty much everywhere. So I'm going to keep that off the card for now. I do have a ton of other plays. What, 7 plays coming your way? 3 in the NBA? Let's start it up now. Boom, tough actin' and I'll just turn this a little bit more. Here we go, Kansas City. We're going to start things off real nicely here. And yeah, Milwaukee, another one of those just horrible starts to a season. No idea what to make of like some of the main pieces there on the Kansas City. Well, both of these teams, just kind of like interesting debuts into their season. And yet there are very noticeable warts across the board for, I think, both teams, really. Kansas City, the AL Central is going to be stacked. I mean, you have, well, not stacked. It's not very good relative to last season, but every team at the top tier, Kansas City, Cleveland, Detroit, they were all contenders coming down the pipeline there. Obviously, the Yankees found the fall through, and Twins fell off a cliff and didn't get into the playoffs. But Chris Bubich going up against Elvin Rodriguez here, and I think this is just as clear-cut as it gets. I don't trust Milwaukee. If Churio is not going to have an unbelievable season here right from the get-go, rookie year last year was a little bit, he played himself into contention with like the Jackson Merrill, Paul Skeens conversation for NL Rookie of the Year, but I very much like the Kansas City side here at minus 102. Yes, it's Milwaukee's home debut. Yes, they could not have played worse in a million years over the course of the weekend, but I think you just go through some of the specific bullpen usage spots. Kansas City's got a way better bullpen than I think Milwaukee's going to have going forward. So, yeah, they have one win amongst the 6 games that these two teams have played. Good job, Kansas City. One time out there. But Kansas City money line inside of minus 105. Easy click to start off the card. Let's talk a prop, shall we? And yes, Boston taking on Baltimore. Baltimore, top to bottom, unbelievable stuff right from the jump. Toronto found a little something here on Sunday. But anyway, we've got a crazy lineup top to bottom. And yet, I don't think anybody impressed as much as Jordan Westburg did over the course of the weekend. Now, Boston on the other side, we could sit here and talk about Sean Newcomb and say that, oh, he's going to have a better season. I have no idea what to make of Sean Newcomb, but a 17.8% walk rate, pretty short opportunity, I'm guessing here. These fifth starters, man, they're very volatile early in the season. And, they're 1-2 bad starts away from getting sent away and having somebody get called up from AAA almost immediately. I'd really like to see that happen with Bubba Chandler there in Pittsburgh. Ooh, spoiler alert. We'll get to that game. But Jordan Westburg, friends, right from the get-go, hard hit data uploaded in the sheet. It's ready to rock. It's ready to roll. 60% hard hit over the course of this run that we're looking at. Sorry, my mom wants to call me so much. 60% hard hit, 21.1 degree launch angle, 610 xwOBA. Hello, how are you this fine day? And over a 1 expected slugging. That's a 1,000 expected slugging. That is a big, big number in the old sheet that is not going to maintain, but over 1.5 total bases at minus 105 here, heading into Baltimore. Shorter porch in left than what it was last season, so it's not going to play as much of a cavern. Excited to see Baltimore for the first time. I want to see some of these park dimensions. But Jordan Westburg home run, odds aren't out on it. Odds aren't out, but I definitely want to keep seeing it. He got the day off Sunday. Hopefully he can just meditate, figure out exactly how he's going to keep it rocking after an awesome start to his season. Colorado Philly up next, and boy, oh boy, hold your nose, friends. We're going to a run line, and it is not the Phillies side. Colorado, 1.5 going up against the Phillies. And did I mention it is the 5th starters across the board that are going to be starting things up here? And Phillies, yeah, they did not show up with the bats here. They're going to be feast and famine. I mean, we saw feasting from Kyle Schwarber and Brandon Marsh and Bryce Harper, and everybody was smacking the ball around Washington Nationals Park until they weren't on Sunday. And I think that's going to be the story of it here for me. It's German Marquez, who I think the best days for him are behind him, but I think early on in the season, I'm going to take some shots on him on the run line, and I don't want to go first 5 because Christopher Sanchez, he is definitely the feast and famine. 258 expected batting average is way up there for a guy with awesome hard hit metrics. Now, I love the ground ball stuff, the sinker change. He really induces ground balls, average of 2.4 degree launch angle off the ball, 557 batted ball events last season. Really good metrics for that, but he still only had a 24.3% whiff percentage. He still has tendencies to get guys on base, even though it's not in the walk department, really good at reducing walks and barrels. Guys get the ball put in play, must be seeing it somewhat well there. And if you're not going to be glorified stud here in the K department, I do think the Rockies have enough pop, even against a lefty here, to make them pay $50 every day. My mother told me to pick the very best one, and this is not it, but it's a bet. Colorado, plus 1.5. That had to be the most annoying bit ever. Sorry. This is really grimy too. Pittsburgh, plus 140 on the money line, minus 166. Backing Tampa. Neither of those are going to be in play. Now, depending on what market you're looking at, I think that there is some interest I have in trying to take flyers against Pittsburgh here. Now, with Tampa Bay, again, if you can get this inside of minus 160 or maybe make it a parlay piece, I think there's a world where that can live. But I just want to bet the over. First off, we saw some decent output here from Tampa Bay over the weekend at Steinbrenner Field, and I'm getting a better hang of that ballpark. Very short. I mean, you look down the left and right field lines, there is no territory whatsoever. It is just space. Now, the park is semi-constructed based off of the old Yankee Stadium, new Yankee Stadium. Thank you, EMAC, for sending me over the Wikipedia page just to kind of refresh my memory on things that I was basically looking at here heading into the weekend. But as we accumulated sample size, I was like, man, this is probably going to play pretty small relative to other spots. Now, Pittsburgh's lineup is not exactly the best on planet Earth, but I do think the over of 8 is way too low considering these starting pitchers and these bullpens. Who are these bullpens? Well, you'll get to familiarize with them because I think we're going to be targeting both of them all the live long day, even though Tampa Bay, one of the more analytically forward teams, they always find ways to be somewhat competitive. But good Lord, Carmen Mlodzinski and Drew Rasmussen, who definitely is not it. He did have weird strikeout stuff at times as a bullpen guy, but has not really put it together as a starter. XFIP questions. You've got Mlodzinski. Again, he's your 5th starter. I wanted it to be Bubba Chandler. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but over 8, looking real nice, closer to 9, half unit play, nice and standard. I brought him up before. If you were listening, the astute ear heard me bring up Bowden Francis, as I basically just want to point out how insane the second half of his season was last year. Answer, pretty freaking insane. We're going to be backing him and him alone. Now, the starter on the Washington side of things, just to kind of, cover my bases, Michael Soroka. We saw him in Atlanta primarily. That's kind of been his main spot. 9.7% barrel percentage, 12.7% walk rate, 329 xWOBA. Does a decent job limiting some of the hard contact, but fly ball contact, 15.8 degree launch angle. Yeah, you're going to see some short home run numbers here up in Toronto with that roof closed. Weather looks like it's coming in again here. We'll see what they end up doing with that specifically, but I don't think it really matters whatever way you want to slice it here up against the Washington Nationals. You're going to get Wood and Cruz, who just wants to strike out all the time. 5 strikeouts there at the top of the order for Washington last time around, or closer to the top of the order. They buried him to the 8 hole on Sunday. He's going to continue to strike out, but tons of pop. But Bowden Francis, last season, unbelievable stuff to round out his season. And just to kind of refresh people's memory, he was like borderline Cy Young conversation if you didn't have who exist up in Detroit. Yeah, it was pretty ridiculous to see Scooball do what he did, but Bowden Francis, after rejoining the Blue Jays back in like beginning August, he came back because he was hurt pretty much the entire time, April until it was June 4th. Then he was out. Then he came back at the end of July. And from that point on, end of July, the 29th onward, 1.53 ERA, 0.53 WHIP, 56 strikeouts to just 7 walks. That is as elite gets. He then backed it up with a decent winter campaign into spring training, and he set up best 5th man starter that exists on the board for today. That's not close, but I love the over 4.5 strikeouts for him. Lengthened out enough here. Feel good about it. Minus 130 at DK right now. I think there might even be something. Again, Bet365 had a lot of the best numbers. Ooh, we can talk about them here at the halfway point, but we got ourselves minus 130 DK. Bowden Francis gets it done for us. This is the grimiest of the grimy, and there have been a lot of grimy plays. Colorado plus 1.5. Kansas City money line against Milwaukee on the road. Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay over 8. But hey, you play where the value exists, and these are all half unit plays as we begin our campaign for the 2025 MLB season. And we are going to back the Angels, where I do think if you had to rank out all of the pitchers on today's board, Tyler Anderson, probably higher up there after last year's season, 3.81 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. Is he without his warts? No, he is not. But I think compare him to Miles Mikolas, who is probably the worst contract that exists in all of baseball, at least at the starting pitcher position. I mean, Anthony Rendon was pretty freaking bad. Really, really bad. But Miles Mikolas going up against the Angels. Look at these numbers, friends. 459 expected slugging, 42.3% hard hit, 8.1% barrel percentage. And the Angels went back to, taking care of the White Sox at the tail end of the weekend, because it was not pretty to watch the Angels there right out the gate, and probably not going to be for a lot of this season. But I'm backing him here. Plus 115 on FanDuel. You got to back it. Anything here plus 115 or higher against Miles Mikolas, the superior starting pitcher. Yeah, do I love the bullpen on the Angels side? No, but it's not like St. Louis should be getting this kind of a price. Minus 132. What are we actually doing here? Give me the Angels. Oh, that's a gross one. And the last play in the MLB streets here, Cubs and A's, and I'm excited to take you guys to Sacramento. Notice the ATH in the corner. Yep, first 5 darlings on Thursday, Friday. Cash both those tickets. Mad at myself about Saturday, Sunday, but awesome stuff overall from them. Again, people are just crazy prices with Jeffrey Springs on the mound. We're not going to sing it again, but we got the Cubbies, we got the Athletics and the Cubs. Yeah, tough times. Just, it was brutal blow up there in the 8th inning, although I had the over of 9 runs there in Arizona. I very much liked it. Ben Brown, Joey Estes. This is not a fair fight. Both of these lineups should find tons of success against these guys. Ben Brown, a little bit too much expected of him for a guy who's a primary curve four-seamer guy. He's a two-pitch pony, and again, the curveball is supposed to be plus, but we shall see, friends. I will back the A's to put up runs here, and, well, Joey Estes is not somebody that I want to back either. 453 expected slugging, 16.9% K rate. The worst of the worst here. And I think the A's staff is much better than some of the prices that I saw for the A's preseason. So it's not going to apply here because Joey Estes is not one of those guys I'm putting and lumping in. But Sacramento, this ballpark is going to play smaller and smaller and smaller as we get into the summer months. It's obviously March 31st. I can't believe 3 months of the year are going to be over with by the time you hear me talk tomorrow. But I am clicking over 8.5. Yeah, it's juiced a little bit heavy here at -114 at FanDuel. Again, -115, the prevailing number every other book. So save yourself 1 cent. That 1 cent over the course of hundreds of MLB bets, it matters. You'd love to. No discrimination here, squirrels. Get your hands off my cheeks and let's ride the beach, you big freak. Can't wait to see this ballpark in action. We will see immediately. Might be a live betting opportunity as well to see just how small it's playing here in the AAA Sacramento area. Oh boy, over 8.5. Let's get to NBA, but first, Bet365. New customers in Arizona, Colorado, Indiana, Illinois, Louisiana, North Carolina. Come on and raise up. Take your shirt off, twist it around your head, spin it like a helicopter. New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia. All of y'all, 21 and over, 18 and over in Kentucky. You can bet 5, get 150 in bonus bets just by depositing $10 or more at the link below at Bet365. Having minimum odds of -500 or greater. Again, that's a pretty low barrier of entry here. You can bet any money line on the entire board with $5, any of, including the Dodgers. Obviously, the Dodgers very much in play. Just want a little bit better on the run line. Anyway, bet 5, get 150 in bonus bets, whether that bet wins or loses. So for $10, you can turn it into 150 in bonus bets. That seems like a great deal to me. Only if you're 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all, to the NBA streets we go. Let's lean with it, rock with it, lean with it, rock with it. My dear friends, it could not have gotten better. Could not have gotten better in the NBA streets, but the dog days of the NBA have arrived. We have less than 10 games to go, like 7, 8, depending on which team you are right now. And Utah, Charlotte is just a spot you say no to drugs. Just say no. Anyway, San Antonio and Indy here in this spot. Just to go through some of the injury reports for you. We're fine. Tyrese Halliburton firing on all cylinders. Cashed us some nice tickets last week. I don't know what else to say. Benedict Matherin's out. Pretty benign on the other side with San Antonio, I think, although always rest candidates here heading into this spot, so pay very, very close attention. Although Devin Carter, Jake LaRavia, we'll see. Keon Ellis should be starting here going forward. See? Not sure what to make of that because, is what it is. Malik Monk probably coming off the bench. I don't know. I don't know what's going on right now in Sacramento. I don't think Sacramento knows what's going on in Sacramento here at the moment. As we move into Chicago, OKC, Josh Giddey, does he have revenge in his heart? I don't know. Dude's hitting half quarters at the buzzer to crush Lakers fans' dreams. Lakers came back in style, so that was nice to see. But Giddey, double-double, triple-double. I bet he gets a lot of run. Bet he gets a lot of run here in this spot. Although he's listed questionable with right hip soreness injury management. If he ducks OKC here, I'm just going to laugh. I'm going to maniacal laugh. Anyway, Brooklyn, Dallas in this spot. Anthony Davis under 34.5 points plus rebounds. Listen to all of the centers that return, friends. You got Derek Lively, questionable in the injury report. I assume that he plays. You've got Daniel Gafford off the injury report. He will be playing. And then you've got Kai Jones, who's played well in the 10-day and probably still gets the start. I don't know what Dallas does here in this spot, but I do know that that's a big number in terms of rebounds on the Anthony Davis side. Plus, I do expect not the usage to get trickled around, but you do have more offensively forward guys. Derek Lively can at least get you a bucket at the rim. And Anthony Davis rebound numbers should get trimmed, him playing the 4 instead of the 5 where we saw him with the Lakers at the beginning of the season. As for Rockets-Lakers, to round it all out, Rockets on a back-to-back. Really want to see what happens here because, well, Tari Eason sat out with lower leg injury management. I'm assuming he's back. And then Dylan Brooks got ejected. Yeah, those are 2 omissions that would really, really matter to me because defensively, you want as many wings as possible to switch on LeBron, LeBron, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic. But we're going to keep it off for now. Let's get to some likes, shall we? if you could hit that like button as well, because it was fun to put up money for you guys. And then if you're in the premium Discord, fun to get you money here on Sunday, Saturday. Thank you, Dodgers, for kind of bailing us out a little bit there. Had the lock, the sole lock on the card we've had this MLB season. But anyway, back to the NBA. Clippers, -2.5 against Orlando. And to begin our card, I know this seems like a little bit of a wide price here at -130. There's actually going to probably be a chance -125, -120 shows up here. But here's my understanding. You've got the Clippers on a back-to-back, but the huge omission was Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's playing basketball here in this spot. They're not keeping him out of back-to-backs. This is a West that is so condensed, and I do think Norman Powell ends up out. But with his limitations here, I do think you're going to see some minutes for Bogdan Bogdanovic, Nicholas Batum. You're probably going to get some interesting constructions of guys, maybe even some more Derek Jones, who ends up getting the start there today. But Kawhi Leonard off the injury report, if he's going to play 36 plus minutes, these are the kind of matchups he's just going to thrive in, because it's slow paced, doesn't really have to push the pace, beating teams up in the half court. The guy's been out of control. And now, well, you didn't play the front end of the back-to-back. I don't think we're going to get James Harden resting. I don't think we're going to be getting Zubats out, who would matter big time going up against the Wendell Carter, Paolo Banchero front court. So we're going Clippers money line here, -130. I repeat, this is not one that I even think I'm necessarily getting CLV, but I want to get you some good plays, and I think this is a great way to start off your NBA card. I want more props. Give me more night before props, Miami. Come on now. Taking on Washington, and this is as clear-cut as it gets. Washington is 0 to play for. Absolutely nothing. In fact, they are limiting the minutes of Alex Sarr and Jordan Poole to extreme extents. Like extreme extents. They're sitting Chris Middleton, Anthony Heel, Kaishan George out here as well with a left ankle sprain. They probably loved the fact that they were able to keep him out. It's going to be limited minutes for Poole and Sarr, and then Bub Carrington, AJ Johnson, Justin Champagnie, a little bit of Marcus Smart, maybe, Colby Jones. Like, what are we actually doing? Miami, they're in the thick of it as far as like trying to accentuate their position in the East. And Tyler Hero, Alec Burks, can't believe Pell Larson started the other day, probably does again here. Duncan Robinson more than likely out. Jovic definitely out. Andrew Wiggins already officially out, but team with lots to play for, or things that they perceptually are playing for. Team that's actively trying to lose. Give me the -8 Miami. Again, clear cut end of season NBA play. Cool. We got one more of those. End of season NBA plays. Boston, 4.5 games back now of Cleveland of the 1 seed. This is kind of an interesting spot because you could see Jaylen Brown, who's the only Q tag on either side, potentially sitting, and then the number would move against me yet again. And yet I'm happy backing Boston -4 here, because this is just adjusted net ratings galore. And John Morant back here for Memphis, although it hasn't been super smooth sailing. One, why the hell did they fire Taylor Jenkins? The world will never know. Obviously, your star, John Morant, more than likely had something to say about it. That's just what you have to assume. There was some displeasure, and Desmond Bane and Santi Aldama going at it on the bench here in recent games that resurfaced here over the weekend. Yeah, there's some discord there, but they're still a pretty good team. And Zach Edey playing some more minutes. I am going to pay very close attention to his props going up against Porzingis. I don't know. Zach Edey on the floor against Porzingis seems like a recipe for disaster. Might bet his threes, might go to the Edey props. But either way you slice it, Boston -4 here with everybody in, Jaylen Brown questionable. That would be an awesome spot. Can you just play basketball here, Jaylen Brown? Keep pushing for that 1 seed. Again, 8 games to play, 7 games to play, I think, on the other side there for Cleveland. I doubt they catch him for the 1, but they got a shot at it. They definitely have the easier schedule after Memphis between them and looking at the Cleveland schedule, which I did here before this program. And that is why I think you're more likely to see Jaylen Brown than not. -4, Boston, Lego. That does it for a jam-packed MLB and NBA edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board. Lindy 5 is in action. If you guys want to join the Discord here in Tails for all my MLB picks, all my NBA picks, let's keep cashing. Let's keep it rocking. Have another great week. Again, don't want to get a little bit too overhyped, although it was really, really fun. Thank you, producer Jacob. We're going to start this week off great. Until next time, friends, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB and NBA streets here on Monday.